Hello and welcome to Fortress Alaska. I'm your host Dave, and today we have a slightly different video. Today we're going to look at a tool to use when you're out in the wilderness. Good for when you're camping or working around your house if you live in a forest like I do. But it's really not the best tool if you're going to be backpacking or where weight is an issue because it's kind of big and heavy. So let me show you the Woodsman's Pal. So this is the Woodsman's Pal. This is the leather sheath that comes with it. It's got nice sturdy straps and snaps, so you can snap it. And it's meant to be worn on the waist. It's a lot easier to snap when you're wearing it on the waist. It has a belt loop. But what it is a type of machete. Now there are two versions of it, one with a wooden handle and one with a leather wrapped handle with the knuckle guard. I know that I need knuckle guards because otherwise I will get my knuckles smashed up. It has about an 1/8 inch thick blade. Has the cutting edge here for hacking and slashing through branches. Anything a machete would go for. And then it has this curved area that you can drag along a stump to limit and get all the branches off for whatever reason you need to do that, like when you're chopping down trees and you need to limit, get the limbs off of it. Trust me, sometimes this is faster than running a chainsaw along it, and a lot quieter. But you're out camping, like I said, if you're camping where you have a trailer or a car, in your car camping I should say, this is really nice. Kind of big to carry around if you're backpacking, but if you have room and have weight for a machete, or if you're going through areas where you need a machete, then it's a good one because it's relatively short, but because of the thickness of the blade, it's got a lot of heft, so it's easy to get through a lot of the thinner branches and stuff that you might encounter. Once again, I prefer the one with the hand guard. So let me tell you a little bit more about it, but just take a nice look at it. That's the Woodsman's Pal. I've actually had this one for many years, and it still looks really good. I keep it clean every time after I use it. I clean it up and oil it and put it back away. So it really looks good after all these years. So let me give you some history about the Woodsman's Pal. Why you just kind of look at it, because it's more interesting to look at than me, I guess. But anyways, it first came out in 1941, just in time for a worldwide event that happened, World War I. The military bought like 250,000 of these things to issue to troops specifically in the Pacific, where machetes were a needed item. And it was used all the way through and up to including Desert Storm. Beyond that, I don't know, but I do know it was used by American troops up to including Desert Storm. In fact, this particular item was often issued to air crews should their plane go down as a survival tool. So you can see this be quite useful in a survival situation for gathering firewood, cutting anything up you need to cut up, and as well as close quarters defense. It makes a really good melee weapon should you have a zombie problem too. But I mostly use it around the house. I live in a forest, and a lot of times I just need to clear a few branches out, and this is a lot faster to grab this than to get the chainsaw out and fill it with chain bar oil and make sure the battery's charged. I have an electric chainsaw now, which is really nice. I have a video on the Ego electric chainsaw. You should check that out. But sometimes you just need to whack a couple branches that have grown in your way that are now over the driveway, and you're scratching your car as you drive by, and you just need to whack a couple branches off. This is quick and easy. Or if there's places and trails through my forest that the branches are growing too low and I'm going to hit my head, or they're just in my way, I can just hook this over the branch and one good pull and it's gone. So it's a nice tool to have when you don't have to break out the chainsaw all the time if you're just going to be cutting a couple small items. And like I said, I've had this one, oh God, almost 20 years now. And every time I get done using it, I just wipe it down with oil and then put it back away. I prefer the leather wrapped handle over the wood because I feel it gives me a better grip. And once again, knuckle guard. And you basically end up with a total hand guard, similar to a sword or something, but I like having the hilt to protect my hand. I like the hand guard, the knuckle guard. It's just a safety thing. So with it, they come with the leather pouch, scabbard, whatever you want to call it. They're really not inexpensive. I know even when I bought mine all those years ago, it was still rather expensive, and I got the most basic of the models. The newer models it's just handle or no hand. It's knuckle guard like this one, or wood handle, no knuckle guard, and they come with the scabbard, honing stone, and some other stuff, and they're $195. So they're not cheap, but it's a tool that's going to last you the rest of your lifetime if you take care of it. This is not something that is going to break on you in use. This is not a cheap Chinese import. It is a quality, still handmade in the USA. The inventor of this was Swiss. He immigrated into this country and developed it as a good all-around woodsman's tool. That's why it's called the woodsman's pal. It's something to be used out in the wilderness, or if you live in a forest and you're dealing with trees and stuff all the time. Which I find rather interesting that like items like this were invented by immigrants who came to the U.S., which reminds me of the M1 Garand. For those of you who don't know, was designed by John Cantius Garand, who was also an immigrant to the U.S., but he came much earlier. But so some of our major items used in World War II were developed by immigrants who came to this country because they knew the life was better here in the U.S., and life is always better in the U.S. So this is the Woodsman's Pal. I mean, I don't need to really take it out and hack wood to demonstrate to you. I mean, I'm sure you get the image of what it's used for. But it is probably the best machete I have found. I use it around the house all summer long, and rarely in the winter because I don't go trudging through the snow in the forest. I tend to stay on more organized trails. But anyways, so it's a good tool to have if you're looking for a good machete, good melee weapon, whatever. The Woodsman's Pal, great camping tool. Better if you're car camping than backpacking. But if you're backpacking someplace where you need a machete, then this makes an awesome machete. Anyways, so as always, I'm your host Dave. This is Fortress Alaska. Have a good day and get out shooting.